The carriers might not want to be associated with these marketers just because, hey, we'll do our own advertising, thank you very much. We don't want to get in trouble with the federal government, with CMS, anything. So, therefore, thanks but no thanks. This is very good news if it comes to fruition for, John and Jane Q Public. Because number one, it's going to limit the spots. It's going to limit the how much of a nuisance these television spots are. It's going to limit the confusion. And it's going to give you the opportunity to say, hey, guess what? I'm getting back to basics. I'm staying local. I'm staying with who I know. I'm staying with someone that knows my immediate network. My network here in Maricopa County, here in Pima County, here in Philadelphia County, here in Bucks County, Montgomery County, here in any county in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Relationship is where it's at. Number two on these Medicare guidelines, these CMS guidelines for these marketers on TV spots. You know how they have the disclaimers? And they flash on and it's about a heartbeat and a half, and then they come down. First of all, they're not, government sponsored planes, these Joe Namath commercials and J.J. Walker commercials. Billy Shatner got involved in it. But they come up for a second. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, anyone with common sense knows that these disclaimers aren't read, number one. I mean, you can sign a contract sitting at a car dealership in the F&I box and, no one's even reading that kind of stuff. I mean, it just doesn't happen. No one's reading those disclaimers, number one, because they flash, boom, 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 and they're gone. But also, they're in like size 5 font. So depending on the size of your television set, it's going to determine how clear you can make out that disclaimer. And if it's on for a second and a half, guess what? Nobody's reading it. You're picking up a phone because the phone number is this big. The disclaimer is this big. So that has to stay up, and it's got to be size, I believe it's 14 font is what they're calling for. Also, they need to be read. And they need to be read at the speed of whoever is endorsing this marketing piece, like a Joe Namath, the same tempo and volume as he is giving you all the shiny objects breakdowns. The same exact way that the disclaimer needs to be read. Okay? That's protection for the Medicare beneficiary, and that's really good news. So I'm glad to see that. I mean, I'm hoping that these, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but these guidelines and a few other ones are really protecting the public, because what you're doing away is you're going to clamp down on these boiler room call centers. There's some good call centers out there, there really is. But the lines portion of the call centers, the big guys who are just out there, just sign, giving bonuses to phone agents. We need this many applications this day, this week, or this month, and you're going to get a bonus. So everything's financially driven, which obviously is going to take away from any kind of customer service if you get that kind of a person sitting in that seat on that phone speaking with someone like you. It can't be financially driven. Not this industry. You want to sell something, go sell a house. You want to sell something, go sell a car. Get out of my beloved industry, please. It's not because you're taking business away from you, because eventually I come by and I come in behind you and I clean up your mess anyway, like a lot of good brokers do. I don't want people that we're trying to help, that we vow to help, ever to have a hardship due to deceit and due to gluttony and due to just, your priorities being shifted. If you're hearing this and you're one of these people, why don't you look at yourself? I mean this in all sincerity. I don't even mean to go off on this tangent, but this is just how strong I feel about it. Get out of our beloved industry. Leave these people alone. We were brought up to respect our elders. All right, I'm off of that. Okay, so anyhow, so that's good news. The second thing I want to talk about real quick is Social Security disability insurance. Some people believe that it's almost like an automatic deal, and it's not. Social Security disability insurance, specific to the state, can be more difficult than another. Social Security disability insurance, for those that don't know, is people with qualifying disabilities who cannot work and need to rely on the federal government for income if you paid into Social Security as a tax-paying citizen. Okay, you have to qualify there too. with that, besides a disability, you need to qualify financially as well. Did you pay into the system? That's going to determine something too when you get in front of the Social Security disability judge. Anyhow, who qualifies for Social Security disability? Well, it depends on your disability or handicap. That's determined by what you have to present to Social Security as far as stating your case that you cannot work. This disability basically limits, your function to do, any kind of activities in the daily day of a workplace, a specific workplace that you had, a career in that, for whatever reason, this certain disability absolutely limits your abilities to perform, therefore provide. So what you want to do is you want to gather up as much documentation from every doctor visit, every doctor's notes, every prescriptions that you're taking. State your personal claim as far as how personally you are limited from just really living life. Talking about activities of daily living, that's a big one. So you have that, right? And who can qualify outside of physically or mentally? Those are qualifying guidelines. Well, anyone between the age of 18 and 64. Because of 65, Social Security disability goes away. But anyone between the ages of 18 and 64. Okay? Now, what does Social Security disability do for you? Well, basically what it does, it provides you income that you can go ahead and maintain some kind of a respectable life. Paying your bills, not losing your house, helping your family. Is it taxable income? Sure can be. Absolutely. The biggest misconception, which is really what I wanted to talk about if explaining Social Security disability, is because some people, they might not know that they can qualify for some kind of assistance here. You might know someone, a neighbor, a family member, that, holy smokes, I just seen this video with Jim Schmidt, and he's telling me that after 2 years, the 25th month, someone with Social Security disability can qualify for Medicare? Really? That's a big deal. So why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing this up because it's written that supposedly you're supposed to be automatically enrolled in your 25th month of Social Security disability, being active. Does that always happen? Absolutely not. I've talked with folks that have been on Social Security disability for 10, 15 years, and they don't have Medicare. Social Security does not generally automatically enroll, even though it's written that they're supposed to, or it's written as a guideline. It doesn't happen. Anyone that you know, you yourself, if you're in your 30s, in your 40s, and you've been on Social Security for 16, 18 months, get ready. Get ready, because you're going to contact Social Security. You're going to say, hey, guess what? In 2 months, my 25th month of Social Security disability, that's current still, no breaks, I'm going to have that anniversary. Therefore, I know I qualify for Medicare. What do I need to do? I want my Medicare Parts A and B. Okay? It's not automatic. And when you get Medicare, boy, does your life change, especially when you are disabled. Because now I know that you're a high utilizer of a health plan, because you have to be. Social Security disability, it's limitations of physical nature or mental, or both. So I know that you're seeing specialists. I know that you have rehabilitation therapies and what have you. So that's an important piece. Okay, it's just important that you go about this the right way and do the best you can for yourself. These are federal programs that are in place for a reason.